Hey Wedsetters, I'm Leisa Brenchley, host of the Wedsetter podcast, and I've helped thousands of couples create their best day ever on the beautiful island of Bali. We are your guide to Bali weddings, where we will talk to the finest wedding vendors in the industry. We chat to the people running Bali's leading wedding venues, real brides sharing their best day ever, and other clever folk doing really great things in Bali. You'll hear wedding planning tips and tricks, local hotspots, and hidden Bali gems you don't want to miss. Let's get you down the aisle.
And at the end of the night, before we get home, it's like people coming up, running up to you, hugging you, sweaty and a bit drunk or whatever, or not, you know, a lot, and saying, "This is the best day ever of my life." And that's all the kudos you need, really, isn't it?
Apparently there's a photographer who got the last Jetstar flight out and came up the night before, and then we had a no-fly zone as well, but unfortunately a helicopter came and they got...
You can't shoot down a helicopter.
You cannot shoot down a helicopter.
I was like, thinking,
No.
Little paintballs to the...
In hindsight,
to the cameras, to the camera lenses.
Yeah.
Well, they understand RSA because most of them are Australian. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the boys will go, "Oh, can I have 20 margaritas?" I'm like, "No, you will not. The sun will come up tomorrow and you can have more to drink. You've been drinking for 8 hours. Although we can have 2.
Tune into today's episode as we talk about celebrity weddings and entertainment, including Jennifer Hawkins, Conrad Sewell, and Tones and I. We also talk about wedding curfews and the options there. And the Global Weddings team talk about whether or not you need to get married in your home country before you have your Bali wedding. All the answers in the latest episode. Take a listen. Hello and welcome to the Bali Bride Guide, a podcast all about getting married in Bali. And today I've got 2 wonderful women, sisters in fact, that are behind the luxury wedding planning company Global Weddings. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
And Narelle.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Cheers.
And
Cheers.
Whoop. All right, I'm really excited to have you guys here today, mainly because it is our first ever podcast, so a great place to start. To kick off the podcast today, I wanted to ask you, and I will ask this every single podcast we do, it's a great way to start. I wanted to ask you, what is the wildest thing that you've ever had happen at one of your weddings? Now, this might be a wild request. It might be something the couple has asked you guys to do for them. I'm sure you've got a couple.
Oh, a couple.
We've got many, haven't we, Narelle?
And to us, they're not wild.
They're not anymore.
Like, people come up and go, "Oh, I've got this request. It might be really strange," but like, there's nothing strange.
Nothing surprises you anymore?
Nothing. I
Baby
think for
tiger.
me, it was having baby tiger.
Okay, tell me.
Baby tiger. From the Bali Zoo, they have a tiger reproduction sort of clinic, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so donations would go to the conservation department there at the Bali Zoo, and then the baby tiger would come and the bride and groom would have a photo with it, and then the baby tiger would go back.
It comes out on site to the venue.
We don't do that anymore.
We don't do that anymore because
it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was that was the wildest request we ever had, and we're like, "Oh, the poor little thing."
Yeah,
but the money went to the conservation of tigers, so which is fantastic, and they do an amazing job there. So it was pretty good.
It was 12 years ago, and we wouldn't do it now. I think the world's changed a lot since
Absolutely.
then. Destination
Especially
weddings have changed.
Animals.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
for
Destination weddings have changed a lot since then. And for me, I think it was we did a celebrity wedding and we had to have a sniper sitting up on a hill to shoot down drones. It was when drones had just first come in.
I'm
sorry,
to shoot down drones.
Yeah.
Surely it was the paintball sniper, right?
Yeah, so that they couldn't get the footage of the celebrity couple.
So there was a magazine deal.
Exactly.
And we had to have a lockdown of the resort. We had security. We had a lockdown. Everyone got passes to come in.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
No one knew whose wedding it was. We obviously kept it quiet, but it's Bali. and it's such a small place, so it's hard to keep it quiet.
And people were climbing up the cliffs.
People climbing up the cliffs,
with
but
their cameras.
security found 4 of them.
I was going to say, did it happen?
They found 4 of them on the perimeter.
Yeah.
But it was like literally drones had only been in for maybe a year, if that. And so we had a sniper positioned, and they said, see up there, you go, you leave your drone now, or we'll shoot it down.
Yeah,
it was great.
And the boat, we had the boat out, didn't we? So that was a pretty big one, just in case any boats or sailboats or little speedboats or anything came close to
Wow, must have been a big couple.
It was. But there's nothing strange
More on
to
that
us.
later.
Yeah.
Nothing's weird to us.
Not
Nothing. We've
anymore.
heard it all. We've seen it all. Everyone wants to say, you know, what's the weirdest thing? What's the craziest thing? What's the craziest wedding you've done? But we don't think they're crazy. We just think that it's just
Normal.
Yeah, everyone's different.
Yeah.
It's great.
And everyone's normal is different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we love a challenge.
We do.
Love
and it's good
a
to be able to give them what they're sort of really wanting at any event.
Yeah.
You know, what their little dreams are for their wedding and how they vision.
Exactly.
They've talked about it for so long.
Yeah. And you kind of like just want to deliver on what they see.
Whatever
Dream
we can.
makers.
That's it. Dream makers.
Tell me a little bit about Global. Where did it come from? How long have you guys been in the business? I know it's not just Bali. You plan weddings like elsewhere as well.
So Narelle and I were actually in Bali. We used to fly over. We've had a travel agency for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So we used to just fly over for weekends for $250 with Garuda and just have a long weekend in Bali instead of Perth or Brisbane or anywhere else. It was our home away from home for us. And we were sitting in a villa one day and chatting to each other, and we'd done a couple of weddings to help family friends, teeny tiny ones to help family friends.
Or
Here we did. There was a place that's called the Bali Cliff, and there was a cave with a sand floor. So that was our first sort of biggish one.
And there was bat poo on the table.
Yeah,
because there's
all bats up in
the cave.
In the top of the ceiling.
We're talking like
as romantic as like the cave sounds, you know.
You had to keep going to clean the table
off.
Get the poo off before.
It was
wow.
So we'd come out of that wedding and had so much fun with it that we'd sort of sat together, hadn't we, and said, I reckon we could do this. And I was like, what do you reckon? I think we absolutely can do this.
What were you both doing in life at the time?
Travel
that you were,
agent. I was a travel agent.
So you were leaving the travel agency, or the travel agency was kept going?
Kept going. We still have that. That's
kind of
been our
goes hand
family
in hand.
business. Yeah, it goes hand in hand. So we can book flights for brides and grooms, their family members, their bridal parties, whatever. So it's we sort of had a full package, didn't we, Narelle? It was like easy for them.
And I think, you know, for us, we do weddings all around the world, and we have the destination knowledge. We know the resorts, we know the villas, you know, we know what to recommend for people because I started working in the travel industry when I was 15.
You did.
Long time ago, before computers, before the internet.
Careful.
Yes.
I know I don't look that old, but and I was just like, you know, I suppose we did what we could in the industry. We won lots of awards.
Yes.
We were really driven, you know,
Yeah.
to win the best travel agency. We won national 7 times, state 11 times.
And then everyone hated us, so we stopped trying to win because no one liked us anymore in the industry, did they?
And then it's like,
sad.
the internet's coming in, you need a niche market.
Yeah.
So our niche market was going to do group travel to destination weddings. They were tiny back then. It was a little arch on the beach, a frangipani bouquet.
We didn't even have to attend, did we?
No,
really? It was
the
all done through the
frangipani thing
resort.
gets me. I feel like that's all you used to see.
It's all you used to see. Oh my God, I would die if we did a wedding now with frangipanis in it.
Yeah, me too.
But it's all you used to see. And it was really easy back then. The resort wedding coordinator would be the one who ran it on the day we weren't there. And we built it up. We had a website, we did expos, we built it up. We would do
You loved the
30,
expos, didn't you?
Oh,
they were your favouriteest
bridal
thing ever.
expos. Did maybe 30 in Fiji, 30 in Phuket, 30 in Bali, and it would change depending on what was happening in the world. You know, there was coups in Fiji, and you know, Bangkok would have rights. They closed Bangkok airport once for a week, and we had a couple there about to get married in Phuket. So because we had the travel agency, we changed everybody's flights to Malaysian Airlines via Kuala Lumpur to Phuket. So they didn't have to fly through Bangkok.
Imagine if you didn't have that.
Yeah.
We would be, so we've been able to give great service and help people so much by having our other business.
Yeah.
Same as the
behind us.
volcanoes. When the volcanoes were going off, you know, we had parents that couldn't get to weddings. So our travel knowledge, we know what airlines fly. We know, okay, well, if we can't get them out of Sydney, maybe we can get them out of Brisbane and connect them. they're the really important times to get people there.
Yeah.
So I think the travel agency knowledge, then we started doing the weddings. It's really helped.
It really did.
And I'm so pedantic and I'm a pain in the bum when it comes to exceeding people's expectations.
Yes.
I feel sorry for my poor boyfriend because, you know, I'm like, oh, let me organise it. I'll just organise it.
Yeah.
Because I've travelled the world and you would hear about a resort and you would go there and it'd be like, oh.
I'm a little bit underwhelming.
Underwhelming.
Isn't it?
That's expensive for what it is. And there was one next door for half the price, but it was 10 times better. So that's, I think, how we built our career and got so well known for our travel agency.
Yeah.
And then we took those basics into the wedding planning. And then it changed. Destination weddings changed. They're massive now.
Yes.
You know, we've become full-time
just
planners.
weddings.
We're destination management consultants. We're planners. We're concierges, stylists. We're everything now. And they're big.
You're paramedics.
We're paramedics.
Another story for later.
Yes. Psychologists. Yes.
Tell me about some of the best weddings you've ever done in your eyes. Now, best is going to be very different, Michelle, from you to you, Narelle. But, you know, what comes to mind when you get home at night and you sit down and you put your feet up and you have a glass of bubbles and you go, wow, that was a good one? Like, what comes to mind?
I think we're really lucky because people say like attracts like. Yes. And I think the majority of our clients are similar to us. They have similar lifestyles. They've travelled. We kind of like the same things. And you see that in our styling and what we do anyway. So I think, you know, you just bond with these couples.
And it's so much fun.
It is.
Like they're getting married. It's like one of the best and most important experiences of their life.
Yeah.
I'm all about the love and the fuzzies, and I still get teary.
Yeah.
At every wedding pretty much at a certain point, like the cliche, watching the groom's face and they all assure you, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry. No, I'm not about that. And
even the toughest guys.
You know what I mean? The toughest guys will turn around and they're like, oh, and they have to look away because they can't actually look at their bride walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
That to me is just the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And their sheer joy and exuberance on their wedding day because everything's taken care of for them, right, Narelle? So that's the best. They're all the best. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to just pinpoint one because everybody has such an amazing best moment day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, before we get home, it's like people coming up, running up to you, hugging you, sweaty and a bit drunk or whatever or not, you know, but a lot, and saying, this is the best day ever of my life. And that's all the kudos you need, really, isn't it, Narelle? Honestly.
And we work to that.
We do, absolutely.
You know, if people don't come up to us at the end of the night, guests going, oh, my God, this was the best. You know, we're like, oh, what have we done wrong?
Yeah.
You know?
What can we do better next time?
Yeah.
How do we grow from this? But it doesn't happen often.
No, I think for me, there was a moment we did a wedding in March. It was a big wedding, a very big wedding.
Yeah.
And the bridal party entrance, I've never quite seen anything like it. The setup was next level.
Yeah.
And I remember standing there with Kylie. Kylie helps us on the styling. And her and I just stood there and we had tears in our eyes because we were like, oh, my God, look at what we've created. And, of course, they created it with their vibe, but it was just everything was
like,
right.
what did they
it all
do?
comes together.
I've got to do this in a couple of weeks and I'm like, what do I do?
Everything was right. I think the crowd, they loved the fact that they were there. Post-COVID, people are traveling again.
Everyone's having fun.
Everyone's having fun. And they were having
again.
fun. And the music is everything.
Very important.
Music maketh the event. And I just remember standing there going, this is a point in my career that I will never forget, that feeling. It was like a bit like, oh, my God, I can't believe this is what we've created.
Yeah. It was pretty spectacular.
It was.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit more about the way that people react to what you've done than the individual things that you've like trying to pull off.
It's the vibe. We create
the
vibe with everything we do.
Yeah.
And you see that even when the guests walk in, like the bride and groom sort of have an idea because they've worked with the stylist and knowing on what they're doing and how they want it to be and the type of look that they're going for. Majority of the time it exceeds those expectations anyway once it's been, put into place. But it's when the guests walk in, it's like, and you see their faces and they're just like, what?
Mesmerised.
And even the wedding we had the other day, one of the guests said to me, I will never I don't think I will ever be at a wedding like this ever again in my life.
Probably true.
And if I go to a wedding now, I'm going to be comparing it to everything and just going, nah, not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out. See you later, people. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just, that's really nice to hear as well,
Yeah.
not just from the bride and groom's perspective, but all the guests.
I too was lucky to attend one of these girls' weddings on the weekend. I will make sure that when this goes live, we will reshare all of those moments because you will see why everyone was just oohing and ahhing as they walked in.
It was pretty, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
So
beautiful.
pretty.
It was
It
actually
was
stunning.
us. It was classy. It was
Yeah.
stylish. It's a lot of people come to us because our weddings are elegant, and we've
Yes.
always been. What was our
What's that
strapline?
tagline, Rally?
Simple and elegant, luxurious and unforgettable.
Luxurious, unforgettable. That's it.
Yeah, that's been our motto since
Yep.
we started. I'm not sure that frangipanis are.
You don't love
elegant.
frangipanis.
Frangipanis are never appearing in another wedding that we ever have. Ever.
I love you for that.
No, ever, never.
I feel like even right back when we started the Bali Bride, a lot of the vendors that we dealt with, everything that they sent us to join the directory was about frangipanis.
Oh.
It was like they were hanging from
strings and
yeah,
being draped over like,
and
the
all along
ceremony area.
the sand of of
the
the
frangipani
ceremony
walkway,
and,
the balls. Do you remember the frangipani balls
Yes,
that were
yes,
put on
that
there?
they yeah.
Your favourites, Rally.
Yeah.
So I said, when a bride says to me, "Oh, now I'm thinking maybe frangipanis," I go, "There will not be frangipanis
At your wedding.
There's so much,
There will not.
so many better flowers.
No, I think that
They're nice on the trees.
they've got them. Yeah, they're nice on the trees. They're nice in your hair when you're in the rear, but no, they're not. They don't belong at. They don't belong at a global weddings wedding anymore. Anyway.
And the whole thing is, like you say, Liz, there's the flowers that are available now and can be imported from like, New Zealand or Jakarta, anywhere really. You're getting seasonal, obviously, but you're getting a beautiful quality now, beautiful big blooms that are just look stunning in everything, don't they?
Yeah. Hey Wedsetters, are you looking for behind the scenes content creation for your wedding day? Introducing Treasure the Bride. They discreetly capture moments of pure happiness and tears of joy that you will treasure forever. Your videos and the full unedited gallery they take on the day will be delivered within 48 hours of your wedding day. Head to the Wedsetter directory to find them under content creation to check availability and packages. Happy planning! Tell me about some of so for people that don't know, Global Weddings is a luxury wedding planning company and they are well known to be servicing some very well-known people around the world. So tell me about some of those celebrity couples you guys have had to work with.
I think for us years ago, we were lucky enough to do Jennifer Hawkins' wedding
And Jake.
and Jake
Oh,
Wall.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
And they were absolutely beautiful people, the both of them.
They
Such
were.
a pleasure to
And
work
the family.
with. Can I
And-
say she's so beautiful? I wanted to lick her face just
Yeah,
a tiny
yeah.
little bit.
And I think, look, it was really different back then. We're talking maybe 8-9 years ago now. And if you go back and look at the photos of that wedding to what's possible now in like 9 years, how things have changed.
Changed a lot.
There's a lot more companies in Bali that can do things for us. It really has evolved a lot. So
There's a lot more
we did
furniture available too.
Yeah, we did a roof installation, a floral roof installation for Jen's wedding, and that was the first time that had been done.
With
Yeah, for 9 years
chandeliers.
ago, that's really
Yeah.
kind of quite forward in
Very
styling.
forward.
Yeah.
But
With all
now
the
we look at
beautiful
it
chandeliers
and we
as
kind of
well.
go, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, they were
chandeliers.
gorgeous.
But now we look at it and we kind of go, oh, it was still beautiful. We had,
Oh, it was
but to try and get it on
peonies,
the roof.
mirrored risers on the tables.
Yeah.
Like it was stunning. A full white floor in the whole marquee. The marquee was draped in fabric. Like it was so soft and just
Classy.
luxe and white everything. It was just beautiful. I still think that was beautiful.
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful.
Stunning.
Totally.
Stunning.
Yeah. So we did that. We had to keep that a secret for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, they had
They
to
had
delay it a little bit. So
Oh,
they
right.
and then they had to delay it. But yeah, so we were planning
But
that.
they had a magazine deal as well.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I thought
Oh,
you
yeah,
meant.
sorry.
I thought that there
Magazine
was like
deal,
a
yeah.
magazine deal.
Oh, there was a
coming
magazine
out.
deal. Yeah, absolutely.
So any footage was not allowed.
New Idea had the
No idea.
magazine coming out
Yeah.
on the Monday. The wedding was Friday, I think.
Wow,
might have
that is
been
quick.
Thursday. It was a long weekend.
Yes.
Or it could have been Thursday. I can't remember. But Who magazine was trying to get hold of me on the Friday, and they kept ringing my phone. I wouldn't answer it.
No.
And they kept ringing the office, and Hayley was like, they want your number. I go, don't give them my number. I'm not speaking to them.
No.
And they said to Hayley, we know the information of the wedding. We're going to print it anyway. We just want to talk to Narelle. I'm like, I'm not talking to them.
No.
Oh, how do they even find
But
that out?
you'd done tickets for them to go elsewhere as well.
Yeah,
So
we
had
booked
tickets going everywhere to different countries.
Oh, through the travel agency.
Yeah, so no one could
because
follow the trail.
How clever.
because the reservation staff
Yeah.
tip
Yeah.
off the media.
Yeah, right.
So we had them booked, I think, to LA.
Yeah.
We had them booked to
Phuket? Was it Phuket?
Phuket, I think.
Yes.
And we just had a couple of bookings in there.
Yeah.
And then I think that, and no one knew, but the management company and the magazine, obviously they knew, they had the run sheet.
Mm.
And apparently there's a photographer who got the last Jetstar flight out and came up the night before. And then we had a no-fly zone as well. But unfortunately a helicopter came and they
You
got...
can't shoot down a helicopter.
You cannot shoot down a
Well,
helicopter.
I was like, thinking,
No.
But look, paintballs to the
In hindsight,
Paintballs
to
would
the
be
cameras, to the
okay.
camera
Yeah.
lenses.
yeah, you can do things like there's smoke. You can put up smoke, or
Yeah.
you can have kites. But
But look, they negated the no-fly zone.
yeah,
For a
so
fee.
they get fined.
They
But
didn't
they
care.
get
What
paid
sort
It
of
was
more.
fine
worth
are
the
we
I
money.
think it was 10 grand
To
back
them.
then, but you get
Yeah.
more
Wow.
for a photo than you do for a
Yeah,
fine. So
a fly
Oh,
You know,
no-fly zone.
especially for Jen. She
Yeah.
was huge at that
Huge.
time.
But
too.
they came at the wrong timings. They came at the initial timings, and we changed everything around, didn't they? Do you remember? And the
Yeah.
second day for the recovery. So they didn't really capture too much. And our security guards, we had 36 security at that event.
Oh my goodness.
And,
Yeah.
phones not on. The Wi-Fi was turned off in the whole place, so no one could post anything.
Mm.
I guess were asked, please don't post anything until obviously the bride and groom are ready to do that. And security guards were just pointing at them.
Do you find that super common now that a lot of people request not to post?
they do.
Yes.
It's getting more common because
And that's
they've got no
nicer.
control over the photos that are put out. I think
Yeah.
ceremony, we have a secure phone booth that we just did another celebrity wedding,
Yes.
and we took everybody.
Who was that?
That was Tones and I,
Oh,
Dance
wow.
Monkey.
dance monkey singer.
Dance for me,
Yeah.
dance for me.
And her and
dance for
Jimmy were
me.
beautiful as well. They're the
So-
most gorgeous couple too.
Very
Great.
busy. She was very busy.
Yes.
The wedding was planned with maybe 3 hours of her airtime. That's all we got. And we planned it in 6
because
months.
she was going on tour straight after.
Very busy
Is she on
girl.
tour now?
No, she's
I
just
think
about
she's
to get back.
just finished.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So we'll
that's
yeah.
wow. She went
With
straight in.
Macklemore.
Yeah, straight
It's
in.
amazing.
We'll curate the photos and get them out. Everyone's always says, can we get the photos? Can we get the photos? And you know us. We're like, no, maybe.
No.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll get them, guys. We'll put them up.
Yeah.
We like to keep things a bit close to our heart. Lisa's always saying, come on.
Yeah, especially
them.
that one.
I
Yeah.
know.
It was
it's-
stunning.
It's pretty amazing. We'll get it out soon. Don't worry.
And what was some of the finer details of a wedding like that?
We actually we had 170 guests and we had to take all of their mobile
Wasn't
phones
it-
off
Didn't
them.
it end up being 182?
No, I think it was 171 at the end.
Oh, okay.
So we had a mobile phone booth where they come to the ceremony. We have a beautiful sign just to say that they've requested no photos. We have this phone booth. You can use your phone at the phone booth to reception and you can have it back at 10 o'clock. And everyone, it wasn't an issue. And a man came up to me and he said, I had the best time tonight
Yes.
because I didn't worry about my phone.
yeah.
Or taking photos or doing anything
it would
with
be
my
so
phone.
different.
It's so different not being behind that little screen.
You can be present and really enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I think you don't want to upset your guests because people want photos. I get it, but potentially
You can always
something
share
we can
your photos,
say.
right?
Yeah, but then
As
obviously
someone who takes
Yeah.
so many
Yeah,
photos at a
imagine you said
wedding,
that to
I
me.
was kind of like
Oh,
thinking just then,
Mm.
how would I cope with that? And
Yeah.
I think you just have so much fun.
yeah, but we can get photographers, like one dedicated photographer, to walk around to your guests, especially at sunset, saying we'll take some photos of you and
Great
here's the link
idea.
we'll share with you tomorrow.
Great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
Because you always want like, how often do you get dressed up with husbands and wives
Exactly.
and partners when you always want that sunset shot? So it's a
Yeah.
really good idea
Yeah.
to kind of.
so we think when we hear feedback from people, we go, okay, let's do this.
yes.
So we've evolved we've got a solution for everything.
Of course,
we
you
pretty
do.
much do now.
And I have an answer for everything too.
Yes, because you're the bossy one.
I'm the bossy one.
I'm the fun fairy, aren't I? And you're
Yeah.
the bossy one.
Yeah. And I'm the younger one too.
Yes.
But people think I'm the older one because I'm so bossy.
So
And
serious.
Do you think doing celebrity weddings, are they any different to
I think
regular?
there's a little bit more pressure on, well, we put more pressure on ourselves
We
to
do.
make sure it's perfect.
But
They're all perfect.
They're all perfect.
Because
And
I guess you don't know how far those photos are going to go, really.
That's it.
No, but I think just running on the day is something that I learned. I have been lucky enough to go on tour with Bon Jovi a couple of times.
And we've had fun with doing that, haven't we?
We have.
Wow.
And I learned to treat rock stars like they're normal people and normal people like they're rock stars. So the
And they would
celebrities-
appreciate that so
Everyone,
much.
everyone's
Yeah.
the same. Like, you know, the famous line from, is it Notting Hill, I think, where Julia Roberts stands there in front of good old Hugh and she says, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy. When anyone gets married, it's just
So
a girl loving a boy. Doesn't matter who they are.
Or a
it's their
girl
special
loving a
day.
girl.
Or a girl.
boy
Exactly.
loving
Do you
a
know what I mean?
boy.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter who they are, who they want to marry.
Yeah.
It's just them standing next to each other
So true.
and loving each other and getting married.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's the takeaway that I sort of find with, you know, any of the celebrity weddings. Like they love each other. They just want to have a beautiful day like everyone else.
Yeah.
we need more staff because we just
We
have to
do.
make sure that we sort of
We're
shield them a
looking.
little bit.
We're
Just-
looking.
Yeah, we're looking.
We're
For more
looking.
staff. We sort of shield them a little bit because the suppliers get a little starstruck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we don't
And-
tell anyone.
No, we
Who
don't
they
tell
are.
them. We make up names. What was Tones and Jimmy?
What?
Can't remember.
Would they have known?
Rosie and Harry.
Would they have known looking at her though? Because I feel like she is quite incognito. Like she
Yeah,
doesn't
she
put
is.
She does,
herself
yeah,
out
she is.
too much. That I
Mm.
think she would walk past most people and they wouldn't really
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But the suppliers, you know, once they get there, and if one person knows, it spreads like
Oh.
wildfire.
Yeah.
I fly
that's
into
why we don't-
Bali and
yeah.
start getting messages going, Ibu, can we have a meeting this week? How do you even know I'm here?
I know.
Yeah.
You know, that's the Bali little
The grapevine.
the grapevine.
It's like the rumpy. That's what they call gossip, here.
gossip.
The rumpy.
Yeah. So
Goes off, doesn't it, Narelle?
it does, yeah. So we just try and shield them a little bit from that because the suppliers would want to ask for photos and autographs, and we don't want that to happen.
Well, that's why we have the code names on their run sheets,
Yep.
and anything to do with any booking we have, we give them a code name. So their real names don't appear on anything until our final run sheet that's just for us
Yep.
and our staff. So that way there's no slippage, there's no nothing. We don't even tell staff members.
She had a band at her wedding, Raina and the Paper Hearts. We love Raina. Raina didn't even know,
Nope.
not even on the night.
Did she know when she saw her
No,
though?
No.
And I messaged her. Well, she didn't sing at her wedding, so
Yeah.
I messaged her. I said, "Do you know whose wedding you played at yesterday?"
Oh my
She was
God,
like,
she would
"No."
have died.
She did. I sent her the link, and she goes, "Are you joking?" I
Yeah.
said, "No, I'm not joking."
It was the same with the band at the
Oh.
recovery. No idea.
How
Didn't tell them.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
Didn't tell
awesome.
them. They just did their thing because you don't want to put that pressure on someone for them to think,
Yeah, so
Oh,
true.
oh
She
my
would
God,
have thought,
do
oh my
you know what I
gosh,
mean?
this
I've gotta
girl's
be-
one of the best singers.
exactly right.
Yeah.
So you want them to come in and do what they love to do, the way they love to do it, and not have that added pressure, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Very, very important, I think.
And we book them because they're great.
Yeah.
You know, we've got amazing suppliers here in Bali. We do weddings
We're
all around the
lucky.
world,
Yeah.
and we deal with a lot of different suppliers, a lot of different cultures, nationalities.
Yes.
And whenever we go,
Traditions, I'm
Traditions.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
whenever we go further afield, we kind of go, oh, and we come back to Bali.
We're like, yay,
like,
we're
like
home.
yesterday after we did the one on Sunday, we were just like, oh, we're home.
Yes.
It's
It's
just what
just
you can
good.
achieve
Different.
here
Yeah.
is incredible.
Oh, just even watching you guys with like, I felt like there was 200 people running around.
Probably
It
was.
wasn't
because
far
we're like,
off.
we're
Yeah.
like stealth ninjas in our black, aren't we,
We
really?
are.
We're the stealth
Yeah.
ninjas in the background.
And I remember Bo came with me as well. And I remember like we were looking around with like guests were arriving next door and we were kind of like, how's this going to get finished? Like, how are people going to walk in here in 2 hours? Sure enough, it was like, go, go, go.
It's like,
And
yeah.
it was just turned into this palace,
Mm.
like where, yeah, I was actually blown away.
There was not a leaf out of place on the
no, there was
floor.
not. There was really
I
wasn't
was
a leaf.
peeking at Bo over the fence from the ceremony because I could hear people talking while the ceremony was on, and you know me.
You're
I
like,
think that
"Stop
you need to
talking."
be respectful. When
Yeah.
the speeches are on or when the ceremony is happening, why do you need to talk?
Yeah.
Why do you need to ask anyone anything? You don't. You can whisper.
Was it us?
No.
No.
Oh,
And
I
then
was like, was it me
suppliers.
and Bo?
It was the
Yeah.
suppliers,
I'm like,
right?
I should
so I'm
know
looking
better.
at Bo over this going, oh,
Tell those
Get that
people
man.
to be.
And I can't yell out because obviously the ceremony's on there saying that, I'm like, get that man for me. And I'm like,
Oh.
just make everyone be quiet. And whispering here is known as kissy kissy, right? Kissy kissy is to whisper, not kissy kissy as in, give me a little kissy kissy. So I would just say to people all the time, please, you've got to be quiet. Kissy kissy, kissy kissy. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, whisper to me, okay.
Yeah. I can imagine it happens a lot.
I hate when they talk.
With celebrity weddings would probably come some celebrity entertainment.
Yes.
Have you kind of had anyone that people would know?
Yeah, Sunday we had Conrad Sewell singing. He's
not
the fire.
I mean, he's well known, but my goodness me, does he have a good voice?
Yeah,
his voice
amazing.
Was exceptional.
Yeah.
You could feel it. When he was singing, you could feel it in your body. The amazingness of that.
And he went rogue
voice.
and did a rendition of Simply the Best.
He did that, yeah.
He did. It was fabulous.
We were a little restricted with time, which is unfortunate. So, we try and make things run on time, but you can't tell people what to do. You can encourage them to, come on, girls, we need to go. But then the photographer's like, oh, the light here's amazing. Can you just give me 5 minutes?
Yeah.
So we always say the yes to that because we know how important the photos are.
Of course.
But also, we ran a little late so we had to cut one song from his set because fireworks had to go off at 9.
Do you know that I gave it back to him though, right?
I know he did. He was like, wedding planner, how many have I
like,
got to go? And I'm like, 1. And she's over there going 2. And I'm looking at the time going, oh, no.
I'm like, it's okay, Rally. We'll sort it.
The battle of the
Do it.
sisters.
He needs 2. He needs 2 more songs.
We were good. The fireworks went off at like 9:05. So we were only 5 minutes late. But, yeah, it was so good.
And is that a restriction that happens in Bali?
Yes.
So they have to be completed by 9 p.m. in that particular banja or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So the banja is like a local council and there's restrictions on every different area with loud music and it's amplified music. It's either 11 or 12 or 2. The only way you can get 2 is we do 2 a.m. at the Ungasan if you do a buyout of all the villas.
Yeah.
It has to be controlled, right? So if there's a complaint, they'll come up to us and say you have to turn the bass down, you have to turn the music down until it's acceptable.
Because these are near people's homes, remember. They're not sort of a country farm venue out in the middle of nowhere where it's not going to be an issue. The people live right next door to these beautiful venues and they have families, they have children, so it's more of a respectful thing as well. Now we have amplified music curfews in Australia.
Yeah.
Where we're from.
Yeah,
so
totally.
10 o'clock sometimes or 11 p.m., or 12. So it sort of falls in line with that, doesn't it, Narelle?
But the great thing is if you're in a private villa, so at 11 or 12, you go from the main sound to a smaller speaker, pretty decent speakers, portable speakers these days. The bar stays open, people go in the pool and that's when they kind of like start to, the party part, the peak's over, and then they get to relax and they get to chat to everybody
and have a lot of fun.
And then there's after party type thing.
And then there's no high end wedding anymore.
No, I would always say to Michelle, this couple's really high end, and she goes, I can assure you, Narelle, at 1 a.m. there's no high end.
Yeah,
not
true.
Anymore.
So true.
Because they've done all the beautiful stuff, so now it's their time to just relax and have fun with their friends.
And get
most
really,
of them have
really
had like
drunk.
6 drinks, 7 drinks.
6, 7.
I was being like,
we've got our RSAs.
Yeah.
That's how we close the bar down or stop people go, RSA, we can't serve you anymore. There isn't any in Bali, but we get the bar to say that sometimes.
Well, they understand RSA because most of them are Australian. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the boys will go, can I have 20 margaritas? I'm like, no, you will not. The sun will come up tomorrow and you can have more to drink. You've been drinking for 8 hours.
Although
you can have 2.
The catering company is pretty fantastic.
Oh, they're amazing.
Have plastic cups and quite often if there's any of the cocktail mixes left over, they will fill a bar top full of all of the cocktails. If they've had a few bottles still left, they'll make a whole stack up. People can come and grab them or we pop them down near the pool if they're in the pool and stuff. So they still have plenty. And it's 8 hours, so free flow alcohol.
Free flow.
3 cocktails, basic spirits, red wine, white wine or sparkling, bintang, radler.
Even if they want to bring their own. Some bring their own Grey Goose and Scotch.
Grey Goose for shots if they want because the catering, it's messy. You don't want your guests like falling in the garden at 9:30 really. You want them to enjoy the wedding and then fall in the garden later if that's the vibe. But,
all on the dance floor.
Can you imagine how many drinks you can have in 8 hours. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
It's a lot.
It's insane. Yeah.
It is insane.
Mm.
Experience overload. That's what these beautiful clifftop villas, warm weather, sunsets, amazing setups. The guests have the most incredible time because it's an experience overload for them. And sometimes they indulge a little too much because they're having the best time of their life.
That's the fun
Do you
part.
find that some of them want to hold on to the night? And even I know the inquiries that we get, we have people that ask for like how you can continue the party, like in an inside media room. And I feel like people are taking that into consideration. Do you have requests for that too?
Yeah, absolutely.
We
And we
do.
just talk to them. And I think if you've got a welcome, a wedding and a recovery, you don't want a 4 a.m. curfew because people just don't last. You know, I think we had.
You're drinking every day.
You're drinking every
in
day.
the sun every day.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
dehydrated every day.
Yeah.
Because they're having so much fun together, right? Like
I just got
that's
the
thing.
drip bill from the weekend.
Well, how many drips did we end up giving? How many was
75.
75
Oh,
hydration
they're,
drips?
IV
Wow.
drips.
Oh.
75.
That's
Was
the
that-
that's the winner.
On the recovery
That was
day?
over 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was
So
before the wedding. That was after the welcome.
we had 2 welcomes.
We had 2 welcomes, yeah.
One in Seminyak, one in Uluwatu. But yeah, 75 IV drips.
The
over
morning of the
weekend.
wedding.
They would
And
have
so we
well.
had a recovery set for the wedding at
Yeah.
2 a.m. I had a second bar staff come in. The tattoo studio was going to close at 2. They were all in bed at 12. So we had it going because they just had nights
Exhausted.
before and nights before. And we did a couple of big Indian weddings where they had 4 days and they're like, oh, we're going to go till 4 a.m. No one lasts.
No.
They're exhausted.
Yeah. Especially when you're doing the events, the extra events as well.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, yes, it's great to have a 2 a.m. curfew, but if you're having a welcome and then a recovery, you want people to actually enjoy
realistic.
it. And
Yeah.
people are tired.
Yeah.
People are tired from COVID.
Travel,
travel.
too.
Travel.
Like some people are just getting in for the welcome and then they go straight
Correct.
into the wedding.
Yeah.
So and then what about the people that do bucks and hens 3 and 4
Yes.
days before
That's right.
as well? So it's a
We've
lot
had a
to
few
yeah.
brilliant ones of those, haven't we, Relly?
We send
Do you?
security with the boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have 2 local security guards to go with
Where do
them.
they like to go? Like the
Oh,
boys?
Generally, we'll send them
Everywhere.
whitewater rafting or ATVing.
Cool.
We'll send them to like
Jungle
a jungle
fish.
club, jungle fish.
Fish
Yeah.
is
For
a popular
lunch and a
one. For
swim.
lunch, yep.
Come back down, get changed, then they'll go somewhere for dinner, like somewhere where they can get lots of food, pasta and pizza. And then, of course,
Fill
they
them up.
always end up at La Favela.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Or the Bounty.
Oh, who doesn't
Oh,
want to
not
go
the
to La
Bounty
Favela?
anymore.
I
Some of them
love that
have.
place.
Yeah, La
Favela's
Favela's
great.
awesome,
Yeah.
but we send security with them because
right.
it's just one of those places where boys,
They don't take
groups
any.
of boys, alcohol,
course.
smart mouths. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that way, if someone's really messy, the security guards will put them in a cab
and
tell
send
the
them
cab
home.
driver
Yep.
where they're staying and they know they'll get home safe.
That's
So it's,
amazing.
it's really
Yeah.
good.
It's really good.
Very
Great-
safe.
Great
Safety
service.
Shelley. It's a
Great-
great service, right?
We don't have to worry as much about the girls, but yeah, the boys, we just worry that. And you might turn up to a wedding and someone's got a black eye and you go,
Yeah.
oh, La Favela? And they're like, oh, how do you know? Were you there? No, we just know.
We know what happens.
So
We
there's
know what
makeup, you know,
happened.
when it's a groomsman, there's like makeup applied and, you know, the black eye's taken
Oh,
away and
yeah.
stuff. And
We've seen plenty of those.
people have had accidents on
Scooters.
surfboards and
Yeah.
scooters and they've
Yeah.
got oozing wounds coming out of their elbows and stuff. And we've had to pad their whole arm with white
Oh,
and
wow.
to
Yeah.
stop it coming through their white shirts on at the ceremony area. Bless them.
Lots of people are getting sick at the moment. I think this is, you know, COVID, people's immunity system.
Also change of season in
Change of
Australia. It
season.
just got
Yeah.
really cold really quickly.
Yeah,
It did.
it's everything.
Um,
So, but we've got the solution: coconuts, and it's just hydration. You give someone a coconut, and they feel so much better. But yeah, we can get doctors and drips in, and I mean, we shouldn't really talk about that because it's not a nice thing, but it's a reality and it happens.
Yeah.
And we have, you know, we're onto it straight away.
Yeah.
We have doctors on call.
We, for every single podcast, will go out to our followers and ask them if they want to ask the girls some questions or any of the guests some questions. So we have some questions from the Bali Bride followers. Do you have to get married in your own country before getting married in Bali?
No, you do not.
You can do a legal wedding here if you want to. It's pretty easy. I think people think it's difficult when we send a list of things they have to do, but they just have to send us some paperwork. We take them to the consulate.
But in
and then
saying
they can-
paperwork, it's only copies of passports.
Well, they've got to fill in 2 forms.
and fill in 2 forms.
No one likes filling in
It's
forms.
that simple.
It is really easy,
isn't it?
really
Really
simple.
Yeah, 'cause
And
It's
we
really
take
simple.
them to the consulate. We
Yeah.
get them sorted. Then that
we did it
gets
too.
lodged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly
Yeah.
what we did.
But
Yeah.
you have to have a legal ceremony. So most people opt for a Protestant because they don't have to prove it. Like Catholic, you have to get married in church.
Yeah.
You can't be Catholic and get married in a villa. You used to be able to do it. They stopped it.
Yeah, I definitely
We
was.
had 4 bookings
Mm.
that we had to tell people that they
Had
couldn't
to
get married in the
change.
villa, and we had to change them.
It's a Protestant.
We got one across the line again a long time ago. Things always change,
course.
you know.
But look, with the Protestant wedding and having that sort of religious ceremony, when we say religious ceremony, it's one line in your liturgy,
Yeah.
and it can be as simple as in the presence of God. 3, well, how many words is that? Not many.
5.
5 words. 5 words in your whole liturgy.
Excuse my
In the presence
counting.
of God, or Heavenly Father, bless these rings.
And you don't get to choose your priest.
No.
That's the thing that
Yeah.
we can't control. So there's some funny ones.
Oh, we
There's
had a
some-
great one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's one lady, he said to her, one bride, he said, "Do you want to sing?" And she goes, "What? I'm not singing. No, there's no song." And he was joking with her.
Oh, wow.
But she was like, she got a bit like upset. So I say to them, we can't control it. You can't choose your priest.
yeah.
You won't even get a pre-meeting with them.
Yeah.
We work out what he's going to say,
Yeah.
send it to him, and he says it.
Yeah.
There's another option that we do. There's quite a few Western celebrants here.
But they can work in conjunction with each other, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
And the other day, we actually, depending on the priest you have,
So they work in conjunction with each other. So the celebrant, as in the Western
Yes.
celebrant, I've got the giggles, and the priest. So the priest will come up and do the legal side of it. And sometimes the civil
not.
office come. Yes,
or not.
the priest always
Push the
has to be on
boundaries,
side.
Narelle.
None of
Yes,
that
Oh,
business
God.
going on.
Sisters,
Telling
sisters.
you. So the priest comes and then they sign the documents there. So as long as he witnesses that, you're all good. But the other celebrant can run the whole thing. It's
Yes.
not an issue. So it's fun. Do you remember, I was saying that about, pronunciation and stuff with accents and things. Do you remember Nat and Matt Wenke,
Yes.
who got married?
Yes.
Nat and Matt Wenke.
Yeah.
What do you think the priest called them? And now, walking down the aisle, Mr. and Mrs. Wenker.
Oh, my
Yes.
goodness.
But
Did
you know what?
everybody laugh?
They've got kids galore. So it was a very relaxed wedding for them, right? So
Yeah.
they were just so happy to be in Bali because they love coming on holidays, having a great time. And they thought it was the best thing.
Yeah.
And they still call each other a Mr. and Mrs. Wenker.
Oh, that's a great
Isn't
story.
that cute?
I love that.
I
Yeah.
love that. They're the best.
We can't control that. And that's,
No.
as I say to people, you're getting married in Bali.
Yes.
That's kind of the only Bali thing about the wedding
Yeah.
that we can't control.
Mm.
But having the other celebrant there, that negates that anyway. If you want, and a lot of people, if it's a simple ceremony, potentially it's not necessary. If it's a ceremony with a liturgy that has a big story behind the bride and groom, so the liturgy is quite long, it is actually nice to have somebody read it out Western that sort of understands the story of the couple.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
is lovely.
It's easy to get married in Australia before you come or after you've been here.
Yeah, but
So-
my issue with that is always, when do you celebrate?
Yeah, it's not the date. That's what
Like,
I say
do
too.
you celebrate the day that you had all your friends and
I think
family
so.
with you in Bali, or do you celebrate the official date in Australia?
What do you do with your wedding certificate? Where's your wedding certificate?
It's at home
Where?
with all of our files
Yeah, where?
In the cupboard,
in the cupboard.
same
So-
as mine.
No, I think it used to be people would put it on display.
No, we got officially married here.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
So I just
So
say
we
to
only have
people-
one date, and
Yeah.
and that's why we did it. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to.
Yeah.
yeah, and
I
that's
think-
why we did it.
I
it's just up
love
to the
that
couple.
being me
Yeah,
because I'm a Virgo and I like everything to be matchy-matchy.
yeah.
So I love that. Narelle's like whatever.
Oh, what-
Well, I'm a Gemini, and I feel like everything in life is already split. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to go with the one thing.
Yeah.
The one thing,
Well, 'cause
nice,
but
nice.
everyone loses. I mean, from up here, we get constant emails saying we've lost our wedding certificate.
Yeah.
So I think people just put it in a drawer and
Yeah.
forget about it. So I think the day you celebrate with your friends here
is the day.
Is the day.
is the day.
Is
Yeah.
the day.
Again, it depends on the couple and how
Yeah.
fussy they want to be about it.
True.
Yeah.
What are the benefits to using a wedding planner? Give me 3 things off the top of your head.
You don't have to worry about you or your parents or your family members organising anything here when you arrive.
Yeah, they can relax and just enjoy it.
Enjoy being present at the wedding and not running around getting this, and this while their daughter or son or whoever is getting married.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
I think when we turn up to the wedding, the morning of the wedding, you just see the bride just go, oh,
Relax. Yeah.
and relax because
You're here.
yeah, they know us by then and they trust us, so they're able just to relax and enjoy themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
So many things. I mean,
Well, there is.
There
But
is so many
that's a really good one.
Hey Wedsetters, are you looking for a wedding planner, wedding venue, photographer or furniture? We've found the very best Bali wedding vendors and put them on the Wedsetter directory so you can plan your whole wedding in one place. Head to wedsetter.com and start searching in each category you need. Happy planning! What are the most common mistakes that couples make when planning a destination wedding?
I think they underestimate their guests and how much
Needy.
information,
Good
how
one.
needy they are, especially
Yeah.
now post-COVID.
Yeah.
Everyone's traumatized. It could be their first time traveling.
And just
There's-
looking for help for accommodation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think is the
Anything.
big one that people just go, like, help me. What do I do here?
Exactly.
What's the weather like? I'm bringing my children.
Yes.
How do I need to bring medication? What do I need? How do I
Do I need to
facilitate
bring
that?
them a jumper?
Do I need to exactly?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do I need to bring them?
Yeah.
Do I bring the baby cot? Do I bring this? What's
Yeah.
available?
So that
true.
goes back to having a wedding planner. If you have a
Yes.
wedding planner, you know, there's scandals going on at the moment in the media. The wonderful Australian media in Bali, they have a fantastic relationship.
Yeah, it's always so
Um,
negative, isn't
It
it?
is, and that's
Yeah.
where if you have a planner, you just call them saying, hey, I saw this. And we're like, we're on the ground. We're here. We're
Yeah.
telling you right now. No one's even talking about that. That's
No.
just all in the media. But it's about the visas, you know, visa upon arrival. There's some agencies that have made these sites that look exactly like the government sites. Down the
Yes.
bottom, it actually says it's not. But people don't read.
Do you know me? I went to do that. Don't you remember? That is the classic because actually even I did that and I do my visa on arrival online when we were coming back this time, right? Before we got our paperwork and stuff. So I went on to this website and went, okay, I need my visa on arrival. And I was on and I said, Narelle, am I supposed to be paying for this? Wait, we don't pay for this, do we? And she's like,
No, it was 150 instead
that's
of 50.
right. And I'm like, what's going on? Has the price gone up? Because, you know, when you've got kids, you're just busy in your own little world and stuff. And she's like, la, la, la. Well, yeah, fairy, as I get called by my sissy. And I'm like, Narelle, what's this? And she's like, what? No, you need to check the website you're on. You're not on the right website. So even I felt
common
that
though.
trap because I'm in a rush. I'm in a hurry. I just need to get things done and sorted and then on to the next thing. So I was
Everyone's the same. And I think having a
course.
planner, having a website, you give them the link to
Give
the
them the
visa
link.
upon arrival. You give
Exactly.
the electronic customs declaration.
Yeah.
I watch everybody because I'm flying in and out of Bali at the moment. I'm up every sort of couple of weeks. And I see everyone standing around before they go through customs. I'm like, what are they doing? And they're filling in their electronic customs declaration. There's a sign up with the internet password for the airport because so many people forget it. So they're the types of things that, you know, important information that we put on. But I also think that guests should have like some kind of communication line with so the bride and groom with their guests so that they can send out blasts with information that you can't reply to
Yeah.
because then it just gets crazy.
Yeah.
Things like transfers are leaving at this time. You know, before you arrive, here's the visa upon arrival link. It's done 3 days before you travel. Here's the electronic customs link. Just give them all that information clearly, easily, so that they've got it. Because, everyone's traumatized now and everything's changed. It's
And it
different.
makes it easy. It's smooth, shall we say, sailing, but smooth flying for
So the
them. then.
guests are the
smooth
the
traveling.
biggest thing that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
The wedding planner takes the wedding part off them, but it's the guests that really do create the most stress. And people say, oh, you know, what's the hardest thing about planning a destination wedding? The guests.
Because they don't know. They don't know what's going on at your
and
wedding,
some,
right? So
some of them
they
have never
just-
been
of
here.
course,
Yeah.
and they're worried. They're feeling a little bit anxious or whatever. So it's nice to have that for your guests, isn't it?
And
Narelle?
they've all forgotten how to read.
yeah. No one reads anything
I know,
anymore.
no one
it's
reads
really
anything.
funny.
What time is it? And I get it. Everyone's busy. Everyone's
Of
in their own
course.
world.
Yeah.
What time's the wedding again?
Yeah, and they've
on
got
your
an
invite.
invitation.
It's on the
Yeah.
website. Yeah.
What are your best timeline recommendations? So when should people start planning? What should be the first couple of things you lock in?
Venue,
Yes, venue.
planner.
photographer
photographer.
and videographer.
If your wedding's on the
yeah.
weekend, you need to plan at least a year in advance, a bit longer. But and again, it depends on your budget. The higher budget weddings book, 8 to 6 months beforehand.
Yeah, it's shorter, isn't it?
Much shorter.
Yeah.
They get engaged. They can afford it.
Out. Of course they can, but sometimes they miss out on the things they want because it's a shorter lead time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
right.
when
Mostly
you've got money, you can kind of get what you want most of the time.
Or
I
find
don't
a
know
really
about
good
that.
alternative.
Find a really good
Exactly.
alternative that's as high
Yeah.
quality. I think the lower budget weddings, they tend to book a year and a half, sometimes 2 years in advance because they need time to save.
And they
So-
also need time for their family and friends because
Yeah.
sometimes people have a holiday a year. They make their friend's wedding the holiday of the year and then they stay on and they have their family holiday at the same
Yes.
time and the wedding's just a part of that. What a great way to
The
have a
majority
holiday.
we do now, though, are a lot quicker.
They are.
6 to 8 month lead times,
Yeah.
sometimes 5.
That's fast.
Narelle does
Really
all of
fast.
that in the office in Australia and I just get to have fun at the wedding. How lucky am I? I've got the best part of the job.
She does. I
Fun
do.
Sally.
She's
yeah.
the nice one.
All right, I've got some rapid fire questions, which means I am going to ask you to choose one or the other. No explanation required.
Michelle, no explanation.
Band
one
or
or the
DJ?
other. DJ.
DJ.
Set menu or shared plates?
Set menu.
Shared.
Ooh, wedding sunrise or wedding sunset?
Sunset.
Cocktail or sit-down reception?
Sit down.
Sit down.
Ooh, champagne or cocktails?
Both.
Both.
Oh,
we're gonna say both
that's
no.
breaking the rules.
Cocktails. More choice.
Champagne.
Of course you are.
One dress or two?
2.
2.
I love the two as well. And first dance or welcome dance?
First dance.
First dance.
Love a first dance.
Yeah, well done. Now, thank you so much for joining me today. Wasn't that bad, was
Thanks
it?
for having us.
It's fun. And we got champagne.
Please follow, rate, and review wherever you listen and watch your podcasts. And follow us on Instagram at Wedsetter_. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye.